my bad, Zach. I didn't even know it was gonna start like that. It started on its own.
Just cut me right off, eh?
I know. Welcome everyone. Beneath the Cowl, we're discussing the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom movie tonight. Spoilers incoming, so be prepared. We're gonna go around the room and everyone can introduce themselves. Start off with Zach.
I'm Zach.
That's it.
Yeah.
The cosplay fitness guru.
I cosplay. I watch movies. I'm in movies.
What movies are you in, Zach? For those who don't know.
Trying to think of like any.
How do you?
I was in the new Kiefer Sutherland one, Rabbit Hole. I don't know if it was a movie or a show. I don't actually watch a lot of the stuff I was in, so.
Oh, so you're like you do like stunts, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I've done like Handmaid's Tale. I've been on Titans. I've been.
Nice.
What other weird stuff have I've done? Go look at my IMDb page. There you go.
Alrighty. We'll go. I think everyone knows Ed by now. He's been on quite a few of these.
Yeah, this like 4 weeks in a row, I think, ever since the Marvels premieres.
You're a resident host.
Or panelist.
Who's that guy? I've never seen him before in my life.
Who's that? We got Kareem at the bottom.
Yo.
Social warrior here.
Hey,
I love him the post. Yeah,
man, always keeping it up. There's Kareem's Dreams. My very vocal opinions got me at a Comic-Con a few times. Grateful for the platform.
I've been looking at your stories, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, man. I can't hold still.
Yeah, we got John Russ here.
What's up?
Looking at you playing all those video games on TikTok. You want to introduce yourself?
For a bit.
I love you.
Then we got DJ. I've met DJ. I think DJ we met at the Flash, right?
Yes.
I saw your quick video there. Yeah, we instantly hit it off, man. It was nice.
Yeah, the Aquaman one. It's good. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll start it off quickly. I don't want to jump right into it. I guess we'll do solo characters first. Jason Momoa. What do you guys think?
I mean, come on. It's Jason Momoa. He's a badass.
Like to me, in this movie, like he just felt like he was just himself. You know what I mean?
You know what? 100. I was like, this is just Jason Momoa in an Aquaman movie.
But I didn't mind it.
Or you could say it was Lobo cosplaying as Aquaman.
Yo, he's already playing Lobo.
It was Jason Momoa cosplaying Aquaman, cosplaying Jason Momoa.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with Aquaman was, or Jason Momoa, he gave the charisma that we want from him, but I think like the seriousness was kind of was not there. Was very he didn't take the role as fatherhood or the king of Atlanta serious from my point of view. It just felt like an in-between role, I'm here to have fun, show my face, and run around and kill people.
And you know what?
I thought about that, and my conclusion is that this being the second movie into the Aquaman series franchise, I think he's kind of leading up to that role because every version of Aquaman you've seen, he's a pretty serious character, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this was more of a lead up. Like if we had a third, fourth, fifth movie, I think he would actually get there, right?
Well, and I also think like on your point is in this movie they put too many hats on him. You know,
right? Exactly.
He definitely was like. I always say this, like George Clooney is Batman, right? Like everybody, George Clooney was a terrible Batman. George Clooney was working with what script he was given.
Of course.
Right? So it's the same thing with this. Jason Momoa could have made like a really fantastic, whatever version of Aquaman they wanted, but for whatever reason in this movie, they made him the reluctant king of Atlantis, a jokey father and, a bad brother.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too with Orm, so the interactions between Aquaman and Orm, that Orm sort of told him, look, this is what you have to do to be king. So I think by time, okay, spoiler, by the end that they reveal that Atlantis exists, he's the king of Atlantis, he sort of adopted, okay, I could live in both of these worlds. But I think it took putting on all those hats. Hey, I'm a dad, I'm this, I'm that, I'm, also a Justice Leaguer, that by the end, he became the king of Atlantis. And I think if we get one more movie, we'll get a completely different Aquaman.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
But
well,
isn't it me that in Justice League he seemed a little bit more serious than this one?
Definitely.
yes, 100%.
Definitely.
Even
So
in
it was
the first,
exactly
Aquaman.
like it felt backwards, not forward. That's from my point of view.
Yeah,
I feel
true.
like they like Taika Waititi'd it, like with Thor.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people were referring to that they're kind of trying to make the Loki and Thor kind of.
They even made a Thor and Loki joke.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
did,
right.
actually.
Yeah, he did. He
The-
did.
yeah, in
Yeah.
the rainforest. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny. I actually laughed at that.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Like my favorite Jason Momoa Aquaman is Zack Snyder's Aquaman
Right.
in the Justice League, and
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, Jason Momoa gives him a lot of flowers, a lot of thanks, because Zack Snyder's the one who cast him. Zack Snyder's the one who designed the tattoos. Even Jason Momoa has that arm tattoo
Yeah.
with triangles. It's called the Omakua. It's Polynesian as part of his heritage. It represents shark teeth, and they use that design for the whole Aquaman suit. Like they just spread it all out.
I didn't
So
know that.
It's a very Hawaiian thing. It's part of his culture. Like it represents lightness entering the body and darkness leaving the body. So there's a really powerful element of his water-based heritage, and I loved him in Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, where he was serious. And Jason Momoa can act.
Yeah,
Like,
or
he's-
none of us are saying he can. He did a good
Yeah,
job
like-
with what he
definitely.
with what he was working with. I think
Yeah.
like what you were saying with the Zack Snyder's Justice League versus like James Wan's Aquaman. I think the issue too is like if we look at Marvel, where they're so structured, is and they have like the execs like coming in on them. I think with these movies, the issue like with any of them, not just the Aquaman movie, like Wonder Woman and Black Adam, is that there's no like kind of like agreement on like even if we took Black Adam, like we only saw him in a solo movie, but I can guarantee you that if they put him in a Shazam movie, he would be a different character in that movie than in his Black Adam movie, just because the director is different.
Yeah. I think that's why he didn't want to be in Shazam, because he didn't want to be too jokey.
Yeah.
But who knows what goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, from what I read, I heard James Gunn did cut quite a bit of scenes out of that movie too, even with Ben Affleck, right? So,
Yeah.
I heard
Big
they were
time
supposed to
studio
cut all
meddling.
that.
so I think it could have been a completely different movie. They should have just let it ride and let it end the way it's supposed to end and let it go. But
Well, especially being the last DC movie, like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but the after credit scene was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Weak
Come on. Yeah.
to be ending
think about
like
it.
this.
Think about it.
This is the last DCEU movie, and that was the after credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a way to
And
end
knowing they filmed scenes with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck
Yeah,
to go either way and chose neither of them.
yeah.
Or even like kind of tossing in the Justice League in there somewhere, like just like on
Yeah.
the news, kind of like Justice League needs to be for the next destruction of the earth or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, they did
and
that.
then
in the
they don't even have
Flash movie, right?
exactly. So that's exactly how they ended. But that's why I think they're using that to go a different route, right? Or has that been fully canceled as well? I'm not even sure.
It's done. Yeah, it's just
It's done. Okay.
unless Netflix revives it, who knows? Let's see.
Restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Didn't Zack Snyder said he would still continue if they gave him a Netflix contract or something like that?
I heard that they rejected the idea.
Like-
Well,
like
the way Rebel Moon is going right now, from what I'm seeing, I don't think Netflix is going to give him anything.
Yeah.
Has anybody watched that yet?
No, I'm
Yeah.
going to watch it tomorrow. I don't. Yeah,
You've seen
we're
it?
going to
Kareem,
review
you've
that.
seen
We're
it?
going to review that, Kareem. Don't worry. I think next week or the week after.
Rebel Moon's next week's podcast.
Yeah, so we'll get on that.
All right, but Kareem, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Should we watch it? Like beyond just talking about it on a podcast, should we see the movie?
Yeah. And it's in theaters right now. It's at the TIFF downtown Toronto.
Okay.
And I would say it's a movie that would be better on the big screen. Like it's got big epic action sequences.
But it's worth actually watching. Not like that fucking god awful zombie movie he did, right?
Yeah, I'll rate it a little higher than that.
Okay.
I'll be honest though, like it is like a very stylistic.
It's not Watchmen.
I liked Watchmen.
No, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
thought-
It's not
yeah.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
Watchmen is like top tier Zack Snyder. That movie was ahead of its time.
Way
Like,
ahead
yeah.
of its time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if that movie came out sometime around now, it would have done way better.
Way better, yeah.
Yeah, I think so,
Rebel
too.
Moon is a lot of style, a lot of slow-mo. So if you like that stuff, you'll like Rebel Moon. Like,
Oh, you know what? Bringing that up, slow-mo. The slow-mo that was in Aquaman, so jarring. Because it was at like such random point. It wasn't like prevailing through every like kind of action scene. It was just in like some action scenes for like a second. And I thought that was like a really weird choice. Did anybody else?
I didn't even notice that.
Really?
Yeah.
It was bothered. Like,
No.
so doing
He did
like I
one-
guess doing stunts and stuff, it makes me very like to certain things.
Yeah.
And like I fucking hate slow mo unless it's like 300 style slow mo.
Yeah.
Mm.
It
Because
must have been
that's
not
like
that memorable for you to remember it.
Yeah, because that's like stylistic kind of like, usually it's like a wider shot and it's like boom, and it's like here's all the action, slow mo, cuckoo, and you see like everybody's muscles moving when they hit the ground, and you feel the impact. This one, it just felt like somebody like went on like iMovie and was like,
Can you remind me
slowed
what
down.
parts they were? Which parts?
I
like,
don't
can
remember
you-
those.
I think there was one in the jungle. I remember it being specifically a lot of times when it'd be like a close-up face shot,
Hmm.
and it just like, and it looked like that like amateur slow-mo where like everything gets kind of like blurry.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one slow-mo of Jason Momoa like passion screaming when his family's house blew up and he was worried about his dad.
Yeah.
He's like, oh. That's the only one that stood out for me. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that
Motion.
like to me, every time they did it, especially in that scene, it like to me it like took away from like the power of the scene.
Mhm.
Like
It's very styled.
if they cut to black and you could still hear him yelling, that would have been
Yeah,
better.
that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah,
Like, show, don't tell.
exactly.
What did you guys think of Ocean Master or Orm in this movie?
Best character, easily.
Oh my God,
You
Patrick
think
Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patrick
he's already a
Wilson.
great
best
actor. Anyway.
character.
that's your
Yeah.
favorite character in the movie? I'll get into that. Yeah, okay.
I like him.
Well, I thought Ocean, like Orm, just so much better than in the first movie. Like actually developed the character a little bit more,
Yeah.
gave some more
Well,
emotion.
I
some
would
more
I would
heart.
argue he's the only character who went through character development in the movie.
Yeah, he had an arc. What's Aquaman's arc? What's
Being
Arthur
Aquaman.
Curry's arc?
Ruling the
Ocean
kingdom.
Master had an arc. He's the only character that had an arc in this
Yeah.
one, which is not how movie storytelling should go. Like
Yeah,
you should change.
I thought like Ocean Master's action scenes were pretty cool. Like actually showed how he could fight and all that kind of stuff. So I like
thanks, Spoolie, love you.
that. And
Correct.
the,
Yeah, I mean, oh,
I also love
Sorry.
the little hints that okay, is he gonna turn? Is he gonna be the
Ooh.
bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like
but we've all seen fucking movies. We knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. it was close. Like
But
there
it was-
was
Yeah,
there,
that
at
scene
the
at, like,
end.
at the end with the king guy, right?
Yeah, I
um,
thought about it for a second. I'm like,
Again,
okay.
this might even be a big reference to Loki because Loki, every single time the brother is like, "Oh, can I trust Loki? Can I not?" And
Yeah.
then it's always like he escapes, or it would have been maybe better if the ending, instead of being like, "Oh, we thought you died, so we're not going to report you," but maybe he escaped, right? Everyone turns around, you know what I mean, and he like escapes into the wild, and they're like, "Okay, he's not worth our time," kind of thing, or
Yeah.
instead of just being like, "Yeah, we love you," and just, yeah, come back in a few years.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll just we'll forget about you for now.
I was
Yeah, you
worried
just
about
try to-
Ocean Master when Ocean Master got the Black Trident. I was worried about how he would handle that. I thought maybe he would get corrupted.
Well, he almost did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He almost did. Yeah.
But he fucking powered through that because best character. Let's be real.
Yep.
And
Power of love.
one thing that I liked, and I like they obviously correct it later. When he was like Naruto running, and
Oh my God.
I saw that.
Aquaman's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I've never ran before." And then like when he starts outrunning Aquaman, hilarious. But
great.
the scene where they're running back to the ocean, if you pay attention just for a split second, he's doing it there too. And I was like, that's a good attention to detail. Like that was just such a minor thing because I remember seeing it and being like, huh, that's a weird way to run.
Yeah.
And then when they bring it up later and fix it, I was like, oh shit, they bridged the two scenes. And that's something that people probably wouldn't even notice. So I always do like small details like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that. And then it made me think about all the other experiences that he missed out on being on the surface. Like if he's never
when he ate the burger and
Oh, the burger, yeah.
And even when there's a scene where he jumps, both him and Arthur are jumping off of the pillar when they're escaping the jungle of giant bugs and all that. And Arthur jumps way further than Orm and like lands properly. And Orm only goes like halfway and slides down. And I'm like, oh yeah, he probably doesn't know how to jump yet. Like he hasn't done like a long jump.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like
Yeah.
Orm is pretty powerful. He should be able to jump just as far. I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably still stumbling around.
Like even with the running scene where he starts to run properly, he starts outrunning his brother.
Yeah.
Well,
The cockroach scene was the best.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go.
and the other thing with Orm, like you could see where he's a better fighter than Aquaman because he's trained his whole life. Like he even says, like I trained my whole life because you were coming here to take my kingdom away from me. And it's like, dude, I never wanted to begin with. And even that scene there, like, so you kind of realize everything. He's trained to fight, all that, to be a leader. But I love that scene where he just said, I never wanted your kingdom. And it was like just kind of the pivot.
And even Orm's reaction when he was like, what, fucking really? He's like, my dad like raised me to deal with you and you don't even want it?
Yeah. And it's like, I've wasted my whole life.
Yeah.
And even, you know, if you think about it, it's like if you go back to the first movie in 2019, if he just said, I don't want to be king, I just want to, you know, be here. It's like, oh, yeah, let's be brothers. No problem.
Yeah.
No fight. But
yeah, that's good storytelling and great acting from Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson is fucking fantastic and everything.
Oh, he's great.
And I will go to my favorite character, Manta.
Hey.
Weird. Why? Like,
really?
Not only because I'll be cosplaying him shortly, but man, I love the action scenes compared to the first one.
You know what? The one thing that I think, like, I feel like he kind of got sidelined in this movie with the being taken over by the dude or whatever. So it wasn't really, you know, him. But I will say they did a very, very good job of making him scary.
I love that. I just love characters like that, though. That's kind of why I stick to like Deathstroke and people, you know, those anti-heroes. And
I forgot.
Villains.
So I'm just reading the comments. Spoolie said she called the second cockroach eating moment. I can confirm that happened. She was like,
wow.
She was like, the after credits, it's totally going to be Orm eating the cockroach. And then it happened. And I was like,
I didn't even say for that. I didn't think there was going to be an after credit scene.
Have you not been to a superhero movie before?
No, but I assumed it's the end of the DCU. What I have to look forward to, you know what I mean?
I
What are they going to give me that?
I mean, I was hoping for something more than that, but whatever.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to do anything.
That's where it would have been good if you say had a mid-credit scene involving the Justice League, and then the final credit scene, like after credit scene of Orm eating a cheeseburger with the cockroach in it.
John was the one who said. John told me that Batman was supposed to be going to Atlantis to speak to Aquaman or something like that, right? But
there was supposed to be a scene where he goes to where Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to go to Atlantis. It's like some kind of side mission, but they cut it out of the film. At least that's what it's been reported from what I looked up on.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that Batman would have made that movie better? It's like the Flash movie. The Flash movie was a terrible Flash movie. Amazing Batman movie.
Yeah. Yep. Batman makes everything better.
Agreed.
It just sucks that it was wasted on that movie.
Yeah,
that opportunity was wasted.
I don't mind it because in Flashpoint, like Batman is a central focus too. So like I didn't mind it, didn't bother me as much. But yeah, the way it was executed could have been better.
So my
it was more
issue,
of a nostalgia, man. They were just doing that for views
but see, my biggest issue with the Flash movie with that. Sorry, we're getting off topic. Aquaman, but whatever. Fuck you. The Flash movie. It's the first Flash movie, and we're doing fucking Flashpoint.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like that's like even when I'm very much like Thomas. I'm big into like pacing and stuff, right? Like I write stories all the time. I have a fucking Batman fan fiction that takes place over the course of 9 years.
Nice.
And I have like specific instances of stuff happening throughout. So even in like the Flash TV show, like the second season being, Earth 2, and then, season 3, Flashpoint. I was like, really? The third season is where we're going to do Flashpoint and resolve it in the first fucking episode?
Yep.
Like, I just find that when DC does stuff, except their animated movies, like you want to watch good shows, good whatever, their animated stuff is on point. Like, and their comic books. Like, that's the thing with Marvel. Everybody's like, Marvel's the best, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I fucking know you only watch the movies if you say Marvel is the best. Their comic books fucking suck. They have no animated universe because anything they've released animated has been absolute trash. So.
Yep. Big ups to DC's animated. Have you seen the Super Sons?
Yes.
No, but I'm excited for Crisis. I'm excited for Infinite Crisis coming out.
Yep, in a couple weeks.
Super Sun's amazing. Is it Damien? It's Damien, right?
Yeah, Damien.
Yeah, Damien's my favorite Robin, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So you just like Batman as Robin? God.
All right, the next person who I thought wasn't going to be in the movie as much was all over that movie, Amber Heard.
So. I agree with you, but I also disagree with you. I fucking felt them cut her from the movie. Like I felt it.
Oh yeah,
you did?
Yeah, like she was there, but she probably had like 6 lines the whole movie. Like she was like it very much like it was. If I didn't know what had happened with like her and Johnny Depp, it would have felt like they were like, oh shit, we forgot to add her into the movie.
Yeah, she's so important. Like,
but she's like not. She has like 2 relevant scenes in the whole movie, and she has like 3 lines in each.
And but I mean, physically, she was on screen a lot, though. Yeah. More than I thought she was going to be.
She'd show up and be like, fucking grunt at the screen and use her magic, and then it would go to something else.
Yeah.
To be honest, in the final battle, I didn't expect her to even fight in it. When they took her out early on, I was like, okay, I guess this is the way for her like to not be in the film anymore, and then just have her in like a shot at the end, like it's still in her bed, kind of like watching what's happening. But instead, they actually made her fight, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
If Black Manta killed her at the beginning, how different would the movie been?
I think more emotional.
That would have been a good. I feel like
that would have given Arthur Curry an arc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is when I heard about the whole like what happened, I thought they were removing her from the movie, like putting a different actor in, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this is his new wife," kind of thing, or something like that, or CGI her face.
They talked about recasting,
right? So I thought they did recast. I didn't know she still was in the movie. So when I saw it, I was like, "Wait, is that her, or is that someone who looks exactly like her?" And then throughout the movie, as you were saying, like she had like 6 different parts that she was in the movie, but she was like very insignificant other than kind of picking up that rock off over Arthur and getting shot by Manta.
Yeah,
and exactly what Kareem was saying.
Even think about like the biggest thing where I noticed it was think about the scenes where so there's a thing called 2-shot, like a 2-shot. So if me and you are talking in a scene together, the camera sees both of us, just how there'd be a scene with all of them there talking or whatever, and she was never really on screen with multiple people in scenes where it would even make sense just to have her standing there.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, to me it really felt like they like got rid of her out of the movie. And they only really had her in spots where they were like, okay, it's kind of relevant that she's here, or they shot a lot of the movie while all the proceedings were going on anyway, right? Like, I think that killing her, if they killed her off, I think this would have been a very different movie. Especially from like Aquaman's standpoint. And I know that I can't remember, somebody told me that apparently in the test screening they killed the baby.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
People were upset, yeah. But that did happen in the comics, did it not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Arthur cuts off his hand.
Yeah.
Black Manta, literally his whole life's goal. For people who understand, because I would always joke about this and nobody would know what I was fucking talking about. I always would joke that people would be like, who, like, if you could take somebody's dedication, who would it be? And I would always be like Black Manta. Because if you look at the comic book Black Manta, this man is so driven to ruin Aquaman's life. He doesn't even want to kill Aquaman. He wants to ruin his fucking life, then kill him. And the amount of effort he puts into it is crazy.
Yeah. Black Manta is possessed. Before he got the trident, he's possessed with rage, and that's his superpower. He's just driven, like single-minded all the way.
Well, even like when Aquaman dies, and like he literally just stops being Black Manta because he's like, I don't know what to do. And then when he finds out that Aquaman came back as a fucking zombie, he had started like a fish fry restaurant or something. He burns it to the ground and then goes after zombie Aquaman.
Wow. Is that in Deceased?
Yeah. No. That was in Blackest Nights.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I remember that.
So had they killed his child or Amber Heard, it would have been a better storyline, you're saying?
Well, I mean,
nobody died.
I think
That's true. There was,
I think where they killed his child, where they would have killed his child in the movie, it's like
no, they would have killed him at the end. At the end, right for the blood sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, why? There's 20 minutes.
I assume when he went back to his home when his dad was there, that's when he was going to kill him.
Yeah, see, if it happened earlier, like beginning of the movie, even middle of the movie, like I could get behind it, but where it would have been, like where it supposedly was in the test screening, it's like if there was going to be a third movie, then sure, because then we could see like the anguish and the development of like what that looks like now. But like with 20 minutes left on the clock in the movie, it's like we're not going to see that development. We're going to see him be angry and probably, try to kill Black Manta or whatever. And then, I don't know, they'll probably do the stupid bullshit superhero thing where he's like at the end where he's like hanging on the thing and he like, oh no, I'll still try and save you because I'm a hero. Like they probably would have still done that anyway. But because, Aquaman's got to be the better person, even though you just killed my child.
Yeah. Still want a happy ending.
Yeah.
I thought somebody was going to die. Like if not the child, then either his father, Thomas Curry, or Atlanta.
It's a superhero movie. They only kill off people like that were introduced in the movie.
Well, speaking about characters who are dead, like they kind of just slipped it in there that Vulko's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a scheduling conflict. That's the real reason.
It's because he went to do No Way Home.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I love Willem Dafoe. So shout outs to Vulko. Thanks, Ed, for bringing it up. Vulko,
yeah, like I just thought when they're that was now okay. I love the movie, everything about it, except for the one thing about this whole plague that they just sort of slipped it in there. Like
we never saw it. They just brought it up.
If they gave a scene where, say, Aquaman and Mara are like going through, say, a camp of all these people dying of the plague, or going to the Atlantean hospital, instead it's just like, oh yeah, you lost your mentor Vulko due to the plague, and I'm like, what? Wait, what? Like, there's no more talk about this? Like,
I was totally expecting a scene to see
throwaway,
like
like if you go back to Zack Snyder's Justice League, like we got more Vulko scenes in that movie. Like,
oh, it's great, yeah.
So I'm like, he was kind of pivotal in Aquaman's life, and it's like, yeah, he's dead. So
I think that's evidence of all the editing and reshoots, and there were moments where it felt like there's something missing here, and that's
even like when you go. So if we talk about the first iteration of Justice League, and that loser Joss Whedon coming in and like ruining it, you can see the scenes that he did, because it was it was just so dramatically, like, thematically different.
The tone
than some scenes.
color.
I'm sorry, I can't stand Joss Whedon. He is like, he made great. He made Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He did a good first Avengers movie. The second movie, he just literally did the same thing. Literally metal army and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he is so arrogant. I'm like, you're not that good.
So the last episode we did, we had my friend Kelsey on, who works at WB, and kind of spilled a little bit of tea on the whole Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder situation. There's a lot more to that. Yeah, he's a terrible person based on what she said. Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Wasn't he like blacklisted after the Wonder Woman movie? Like,
so there was there were some issues with him on Buffy as well. For the Justice League, there were a lot of copy and paste moments from the first Avengers as well.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I heard he like told Gal Gadot he'd like ruin her career.
Well, I mean, look what he's doing. Look what happened to Ray Fisher.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Ray Fisher for speaking up. He basically went to war against all of Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry that he wasn't. I think it would have been a bigger issue if he was a bigger actor. And I'm sorry that he's never going to get the recognition he deserves for that.
It's too bad too, because he was my favorite character in the Zack Snyder's version.
Oh yeah,
bro, he
did so much.
That movie was literally about him,
and I loved it.
So good.
I
and for him not to be in
good.
Justice League was it didn't make sense.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Zack Snyder, he brought Ray Fisher back for Rebel Moon. Like he knows that Ray Fisher has become a little bit of a pariah now because.
Bro, if you imagine if he brought the whole league into that movie.
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill. Oh yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of directors do is they bring like people.
Isn't that what James Gunn's doing with his brother and his whatever right now?
Basically.
Well, look at Christopher Nolan. Like every movie every movie you watch of his, there's like 5 actors that you're like they were in the last Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio too. He's in what's his name's movies a lot. I forgot his name.
Scorsese?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Patrick Wilson is working with James Wan a lot.
And he was Night Owl in Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen. Yeah. I was wondering who cast Patrick Wilson, because Zack Snyder worked a lot on shaping the Justice League, and James Wan did as well. But I guess they both agreed on.
As far as I know, Zack Snyder had his hand in all of at least the first movies. That's why, like Wonder Woman, the first one was decent, and the second one was absolute garbage. I'm sorry, I always say this, like, I'm not here to I'm watching a movie called Wonder Woman, right? I'm here to see Wonder Woman do stuff. I don't give a fuck about her love story. You know? It's like anything. Like, I remember, do you guys remember, I don't know if you remember during Captain America Civil War, there's people like petitioning to make Steve Rogers and Bucky gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's people that wanted that to happen. I don't give a shit. Like, make whoever you want gay, trans, recolor whoever. You know what I mean? I don't care. My issue is that the people who want that, they now don't want a Captain America movie. They want like a gay romance movie, right? And that's not why I'm watching Captain America. It's like watching it's like reading a Batman comic and not watching him solve crimes and beat the shit out of criminals.
It's just him being a playboy then. I said just reading about him being a playboy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm reading a Batman comic and it's just Bruce Wayne all the time.
Yeah, but I mean they do add a bit of substance to the story. I mean,
but
as far as how much
like,
they go with it, then that's a different thing, right? But I mean, they do have to add some.
But that's what I mean. It's good to have like that arc in it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like the Fast and the Furious movies, right? Like we all love Dom and Letty's relationship in Fast and Furious. Amazing, right? But the movies aren't about their relationship. It's just in the movie.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman 1984 movie, like the best part of that movie was Maxwell Lord, because he was the only one fucking doing anything the whole movie.
Mm.
So I think, Zach, I think you brought a point that I wanted to say, that I remember watching, when I was watching Aquaman, I looked at my watch, an hour went by, and I was like, what did I just watch? No joke, 2 people beside me fell asleep, not commenting on who it was. But the first hour was exactly what you're saying. Like, it was just trying to build some stories like Aquaman and his father. Let's drink a Guinness together. I felt like a lot of things were just filler. The first hour could have been cut down to 10 minutes. Yeah. And then that 10 minutes, then going into and exactly 1 hour in is when he went into the desert. So I remember looking at the watch and I was like, oh, we started at 7:15. I looked at my watch. Oh, it's 8:15. And then he was in the desert. And then I was like, okay, at least from this point on, it was okay. It's moving. Yeah. He's trying to escape. There's a mission. There's adventure. You know, and some humor to it. But again, it wasn't the the first hour was just so much filler.
So basically what you're saying is, as soon as Orm got on screen, the movie picked up.
Yeah, pretty much. But like,
it was the collaboration of both of them together, right? Yeah. Kind of, it gave you that joke, because Arthur was Jason Momoa was such a, like, he was too comedic for who he should have been, versus how his brother is the more serious, king figure. Yeah. Exactly. It gave that balance. But with him on the screen and dominating, and then Black Manta was like, same thing with Amber Heard. Like, he was just randomly here and there, just, oh, I want to kill him. And then he disappears. 6 months go by. Oh, I want to kill him. Like, it kind of just seems like he went on screen, disappeared off screen, and but then, so if he was more present in that movie and there was more back and forth, maybe communication, something like saying, like, teasing Arthur being like, I want to kill you, stuff like that, then maybe there would have been some, like, sustenance to it. But without all of that, it was just like, okay, we know there's a villain. We know what's going. We know he has a kid now. There's, he's the king. He's busy. He's like, oh, it's so hard to be a single father. I'm like, what do you mean single father? What are you doing? It seems like your dad. I'm like, that's kind of a diss to other single fathers. So I couldn't connect with especially the family. Like, there was no family bonding of Aquaman or Arthur's family. It was more of like the storyline halfway through that you could connect with, and that was my biggest thing. And this hour and 4-minute movie should have been an hour and 15. That's how it felt.
I think what you saw. So there's this great book. It's called Save the Cats, and it's basically how to write a script. And there's like structure to, like, so this is when this character needs to show up. This is when this character needs to show up. This is when the main events need to have blah 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 blah, like all that crap, right? I think what you are pointing out is there is a section called like fun and games, and I think that's like in the second act, and I think the problem is they had that in the first act, and that kind of throws off the whole like structure of the movie. Because I'm with you there. I was the first half of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, like, where are we going? Like, even like the we got to go get my brother. I was like, that was kind of a weak ass excuse to break him out. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously he was like the best part of the fucking movie, but the excuse they used, like, well, like 5 fucking years ago, my brother worked with him, so he'll know where to find him. Because stuff doesn't change in 5 years.
That specific part felt rushed. Like, it just felt like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go break him out. Like, what else? Like, there's more. There has to be more to explain about this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they montaged it. They didn't show him sneaking in. That would have been cool. Like,
Yeah, that
they
would have
just
been cool
said, you're
too.
gonna put on the suit and then do this and then Topo. And,
Yeah, the octopus did all the sneaking.
well, tactical observation pursuit operative Topo.
Sorry to interrupt, but I
Thank
gotta
you,
head back.
Jack.
I gotta head back to work. So I'll talk to you guys later. But I'll be in the chat though still. So
All right,
All right.
John.
Peace,
Have a good
John.
night.
Miss you.
Yeah, I never understood, like, especially for these solo movies, especially when you've already introduced the whole group of people. It never makes sense to me why they never reference them in these movies. Like, at least in the beginning of the movie, say that, you know, Superman's off-world, Green Lantern's
Right?
off-world, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a
Like, you're
very
there fighting,
rapid
and you have
Justice
a
League.
whole team. You have a whole team.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the team?
Call somebody.
Well, yeah, and it's
So-
like you said, like we're talking about a world-altering event. It's one thing, like even like let's go to the Flash, right? There's stuff fucking going on in the Speed Force. Well, nobody can really help him with that,
Exactly.
right? Whereas this, it's like, oh wow, the world is changing and stuff is happening, and man, it's almost like I was just part of a team that saved the fucking planet.
Save, save the planet against an enemy that did less than what Black Manta was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Manta accomplished way more in 5 months. Like,
Over 6 months.
yeah.
I mean, how do you know? You didn't see any evidence of that.
Right, that too.
Yeah, how do you know what he
I was on
did?
the news.
Also, I don't understand.
true.
I don't understand
Who
how they're
believes the
like,
news,
oh, this what
Kareem,
was
you
it
should
called?
know not to trust the news.
What was it called?
Kareem?
Devil Island or whatever the place was called?
Devil's Deep.
How,
Devil's Deep,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you. So my question is, how? Like they're like, this is global warming happening, and they're like, oh, this is the epicenter of it, and you're telling me no meteorologist, no whatever, no one could detect that the amount of chemicals coming
Right.
out of that volcano, and most likely every volcano in the world is being tracked by some sort of, you know,
Yeah.
some sort
Batman
of whatever.
has satellites for that.
Yeah,
Batman
like,
would have been
and-
on that.
and I'm
Literally.
pretty sure
Or
Aquaman should have satellites, you know, like detect
Starlight,
if anything's
come on.
going into the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When they went to the island and you see all the big bugs and the man-eating plants and stuff, there was a side of me. I'm like, oh, please, just show me a big monkey hand somewhere. Just kind of like tie into like Skull
Kong.
Island.
There's a comic coming out, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Ah.
Tie it in.
Yeah.
But
Actually,
minus one Godzilla.
the other funny thing is other characters that didn't show up much, like Queen Atlanta. Like Nicole Kidman was barely even in the movie.
Yeah, you know what? She was like just a little bit more than Amber Heard.
Yeah. Like Dolph Lundgren to me had more of a pivotal role in the movie than what Nicole Kidman did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he was kind of like Orm's antagonist.
Right.
So
I liked him.
You know what I hate? I hate the CGI effect when they're communicating to the sea creatures.
oh, the like
Yeah, I hate that. It's so like imagine like 11 in Stranger Things lifting shit and all you see, you know?
I don't like
Yeah.
the hair underwater.
Floating.
I think the CGI was a bit rushed. It was a little bit funkier in this movie than it was in the first.
Yeah, I've just been finding that in a lot of like superhero movies in general lately. The CGI is just taking a fucking nosedive.
Well,
I
there is
think
a
the whole
reason
thing
for
with
that, though.
Yeah. This
they're
was
not
way
gonna
better
say
than
that.
Flash.
They're not getting paid enough when they're being rushed to make movies out.
Yeah.
Man. They're just trying to pump them up.
Well, they got to get their shit together. Does anybody here watch Jujutsu Kaisen?
Nope.
Fucking losers. But anyway, there's a fight scene in it. It got rated a 9.9 out of 10, and it was only 30% done. So like CGI people, you know, get your shit together. Let's go.
That's what's it called? Jujutsu Kaisen?
Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, it's an anime.
The anime. Yeah.
Cool. Writing that down. Thanks.
None
for
of
that.
you guys watch? Do you guys? watch
Is that a
anime?
show? Is that a show, Zach? Or I know there's a movie, but it's
Yeah, it's a
based on a
show.
show, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's like this. It is the second most popular anime of like all time right now.
What's the first? Dragon Ball?
Attack on Titan.
Well, Attack on Titan. I pretty much only stopped watching after Dragon Ball. I think we're more of like a 90s, early 2000s kid.
Listen, we talked about this. You need to watch Attack on Titan.
It's my brother's 40, and he just like he pretty much watched every single anime at the top 10, and he's in love with everything. And I'm like, he's like, we used to love Dragon Ball Z, we used to love like all these anime when we were kids, but he's so in love with it. But I'm like, I don't have enough time to watch like 18 seasons of a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what's that one they made a live action of that has like 1,000 episodes? What is it? What is it?
Bleach?
Stretchy Kid.
One Piece.
Yeah,
One
One
Piece.
Piece. I could never get into that now.
See, when I was younger and it was like sort of like, you know, in a reasonable amount of episodes, I was getting into it, and then I fell off of like anime in general for a while, and then I got back into it, and fuck, I'm not that committed. Like even I was watching Black Clover, and it has 175 episodes. That took a lot to get through. Now we're talking about over 1,000. I lent my buddy my Funimation account, and I watched this man because you can see like, you know, continue watching, right, and all this stuff. I watched this man go from like episode 300 of One Piece to over 1,000.
Wow.
And I was like, here I am like struggling to watch like 2 episodes of something here and there.
500 episodes in, John says.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed as well, but the last Fan Expo I went to, I mentioned it before that it seems to be more turning into like anime. It's more into anime now than the superheroes.
Well, because now you're not a loser for watching it. Like that's.
I don't know if it's more. I don't know if it's more of a superhero fatigue or what's going on, but
no, I think it's just becoming like more. It's becoming
mainstream.
Cool to be a geek.
True.
You know,
Also,
like,
the cosplays, like the anime cosplays, are amazing. So that probably drives people in.
We're also getting a lot older in this fandom.
yeah,
That's also
the
true.
younger generation are more into the anime cosplays. I find.
So wait, can
Yeah.
I ask everyone what was the best superhero movie that came out in like the past 2-3 years? Anything? I'm trying to think. I'm like,
I mean,
I'll be honest. I'm a bit biased, though. I have to say the Snyder Cut.
Yes. If that's included, for sure.
no,
Snyder.
I mean because that movie was supposed to come out. What was that? 2018 or whatever? Or I'm talking about like because I'm like looking back on everything Black Adam, Shazam, and Blue Beetle. Like
You're talking DC or in general?
I guess in general, including Marvel as well, right? Like
I'd say
probably Spider-Man.
Spider-Man or the Batman.
Yeah,
the Batman. I think.
Yeah, Batman was good.
So the Batman, I like.
When did that come out? Right.
The Batman was also a good movie for everybody.
2022, right?
Like the Batman, it's a crime noir drama, and it was really done, and it was written in such a good way where it was like, it was this drama, but it just happened to be in the same city as Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're saying about best movie, are you talking since say 2020 or since Infinity War?
It might be Infinity War after the big because I'm trying to think like Batman was a great movie. I really connected with it. That was like something I always wanted. Like the original Suicide Squad was supposed to be like the Batman, if I'm not mistaken. But then they had to cut the whole thing because everyone's like, oh, it's too gothic, it's too gory. We need to make it like the Avengers. Right. So and they haven't released it. I'm like, I've been really like tempted to like, where is it?
Yeah.
And then yeah, I guess Spider-Man, like well, are we talking about the cartoon or are we talking about
I think No Way Home.
Like, I think Miles Morales.
And let's be so fucking for real about Spider-Man No Way Home. That was a way better multiverse movie than Multiverse of Madness.
See, and I would say the two best is No Way Home and the Joker.
Ooh.
Wait,
No,
Joker
was good too. Yeah.
Todd.
What?
Todd
Oh,
Phillips.
I love the Joker.
So
Wait a minute.
there's this Batman book I'll compare this to.
Oh, 2019, right?
So there's this Batman book I read. I forget what it's fucking called because it was terrible. But I was excited because I was like, oh man, a Batman novel, right? Batman's my favorite superhero, if you guys haven't figured it out yet. So I'm reading this Batman novel, and it was a fucking fan fiction. Okay. So it was like you literally could, if you changed everybody's names in it, because the author already did. She already like made like 8 self-insert characters of herself in it. But if you change the name of like his name from Bruce Wayne Gotham City to, I don't know, whatever the fuck other city. It wasn't a Batman novel anymore. And that's how I looked at the Joker movie. It's not, it's just like, if you took away that it took place in Gotham and that he called himself the Joker, it wasn't a Batman Joker movie.
Oh, it was a Scorsese movie.
Yeah,
like Todd Phillips. It was a Scorsese movie.
Yeah, and as a Scorsese movie, fantastic. I didn't like it as like a superhero genre movie.
Yeah, like leading up to that one, I did the whole rewatch. I watched
Kings of Comedy.
I watched King of Comedy. I watched Deer Hunter. I watched Taxi Driver.
So
and then went straight into it. And even watching Joker after I watched those three, I'm like, oh, there's a part of Deer Hunter. There's a part of King of Comedy. So
yeah, I think it was very deliberate to fit it into that genre rather than the MCU style stuff.
I'll have a hot take with John's Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Even with the air cut being cut, whatever, I still enjoyed it better than I enjoyed James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
I like James Gunn's Suicide Squad better.
I turned that shit off in like 30 minutes.
Really?
I couldn't.
I really like James.
Yeah.
I like James Gunn's Suicide Squad, especially. Well, I love Peacemaker, so the whole Peacemaker.
But I feel like he works. James Gunn, like his style of directing, works really well for Guardians of the Galaxy and Peacemaker and stuff like that. But with the Suicide Squad, I know they're supposed to be more edgy, but it was too comedic for me.
But I feel like, and this is the issue that I'm finding DC is doing. It doesn't have its own fucking identity. Is that they tried to do the dark way. Everybody hated that for some reason, which drives me nuts. I hate whenever I read reviews and people are like, I remember for the longest time they'd be like, it's too dark. I was like, do they mean like the lighting is too dark?
I think Superman was the one who changed that for people because they know him more of a bright figure.
Yeah,
right?
but like when I'm reading that in like Batman reviews that it's too dark when we're talking about the Dark Knight.
Yeah, no,
right?
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys have been spoiled with your shitty little fucking Marvel movies, but like these are different characters. This is a different like again, if we look at the comics and stuff, right? Marvel fucking sucks. The DC comics are also written in a different style than the Marvel comics. Like you can even just looking at the art, the lighting in the art too, it is a much more like grim style, like comic genre than Marvel is. Marvel is more kid friendly. Like, and I get it. Like, oh, it's too dark. It's like, grow the fuck up. You're an adult.
But the end of the day, though, Zach, who's spending their money to the theater, right? It's
general
family.
Audience.
Yeah, exactly. Like we only make up a small portion of the audience that goes there to watch movies.
Yeah, no, I know, but these are the same people that drag their kid to see Deadpool.
Deadpool's still a brighter movie than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, but when he's chopping heads off and saying "fuck" every 10 seconds, you know what I mean? Like
that's really weird, isn't it? How Deadpool can be lighter than Superman.
Yeah. And when I go see Deadpool and the guy behind me has to explain to his 4-year-old kid what International Women's Day is.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's like when people say to me, "Oh, you watch anime, that's for kids," and then I watch them walk into a Disney movie and I'm like, pretty sure fucking Goblin Slayer is less of a kids show than Frozen, just saying.
But Zach, I have to say one thing. What I really did love about Marvel was like the Daredevil, like that series.
Oh yeah, the TV
and that,
shows
like those
fantastic.
TV shows, like that's what I wanted.
John Bernthal as Punisher.
Yeah, well, yeah, he pulled
what
it
a
off.
perfect casting.
But what I wanted to say is like that's what we needed out of the DC universe, like that storyline, like create that and then come out with a movie. Right, you kind of build the audience, and then it's kind of like, it's terrible to say, like I'm like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but like they were trying to tie it into the movies and stuff, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was kind of like, they were trying a lot hard, but it was like it's somehow to build that like long-term customer, like having like Loki and Loki, that the show right now, that is amazing. Like how well that was done. And then if they made a low-key movie, we would go all watch it. Like how from my point of view at least.
True.
From what I see, that Marvel, Disney, even Sony, Fox, they work like well together for the most part. Warner Brothers and DC, no.
Oh God,
Warner-
no! Like how
Warner
often
Brothers.
do we
Yeah.
hear about Warner Brothers coming and chopping the shit out of every fucking movie?
Yeah.
Exactly. And this
Well-
is why we didn't get what we were
One
supposed to
second,
get.
one second.
Also, when you look at the DCU, so if Aquaman Lost Kingdom is the final DCEU movie, so you look at the 10 years, even just look at the ownership of Warner Brothers, like all the changes that has happened. Even if you look at the DC Comics division in the movies, how many different figureheads is like you put
Yeah.
Jeff Johns in there. Okay, creative directors Jeff Johns. Oh, this movie didn't do well. We're going to pull away from Jeff Johns. Like it all started like with Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder, and it's like, okay, here's your vision. At least with Marvel, and we mentioned this not too long ago, was Kevin Feige has been sitting at the helm since day one, and so. Unfortunately,
Who's the new guy they're bringing in? They're bringing in a new guy,
For Marvel or DC?
Marvel, and he's like fucking with Ryan Reynolds. Who's that guy?
No clue.
I didn't know.
that.
I didn't know it was changing.
Wasn't
What,
I thought
what's the
Kevin,
role? What's his role?
I
Creative director.
apparently important enough that he's like basically being like Deadpool isn't in anything anymore.
What?
Oh, really?
I thought it was Feige was getting more control because he had put too much into other people kind of handling things for him. But
I don't know. I just read something about some new guy. Probably takes a Google search. Not gonna lie, I could be talking out my ass. I don't know. I have Marvel fatigue, because of their formula. It is just written in fucking everything now. Like
Played
I
out.
remember
But the
somebody.
general audience loves it.
They
I
loved it.
Not anymore.
With a D.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Look at how
True,
fucking great their
true.
movies are doing. They're not.
Yeah, I mean,
it,
it's the first year that Disney didn't make $1 billion on a movie. So
Yeah.
that's
a lot of
impacted.
movies are struggling. Like,
Yeah.
across
Well-
the board, movies are down.
Other than
Barbie,
Barbie, and
did
Oppenheimer.
amazing. Oppenheimer did well.
But those two were
I
like
heard the creator
those were
did a fantastic
genius
movie.
advertising. Like
Pink.
Barbie's advertising started 6 months before the movie started, and Mattel was pushing that like it was like nothing. So I think that was just a genius marketing and just using people's nostalgia, using toys, using whatever, and now having 53 confirmed movies with Warner Brothers and Mattel. Like that's gonna be insane. Or is it 39? I don't know. Whatever. It was a big number. They're gonna make
When
Hot
did,
Wheels movie. They're gonna make Bratz movie. They'll make whatever type of movie they want.
When
now.
did Mario come out? This year, wasn't it?
yeah, Mario
Yeah,
came
that
out
did
this
well,
summer.
too.
I still have
yeah.
to see Mario.
You haven't
Now-
seen it. Oh,
Well,
Good.
and when you look at the DC movies, so yeah, like Batman. I mean Flash didn't
Yeah,
perform well.
You're not wrong.
Blue Beetle. I hate to say this, I still haven't seen Blue Beetle yet. It's just when it
Oh,
came out in
It's not
August.
even worth it.
I really like that movie, man. I'm
Well,
so
like-
sad that it didn't do well.
It
Well,
was.
like-
It
But,
was
like,
a generic. It was a
you
generic
you
superhero
the
movie. To
but
be
was
honest
it
with
a
you,
good movie? Was it a good movie?
it was a good movie.
It,
No,
it
no,
was
no,
a, it was
no, no,
But
no,
it was a
It's like,
generic
This
superhero
is
movie.
this is something that we got to
Totally.
figure out, because this is something that I think that a lot of people don't understand when they look at movies. I like the Fast and the Furious franchise. I know they're not good movies, but I enjoy them. You can enjoy something and it not be good. So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is Blue Beetle actually a good movie, or did you just like Blue Beetle?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, but it's cookie cutter. It's,
Was it better? Yeah. Was it better than Aquaman?
Yeah.
I'll say it was
No.
pretty similar to Aquaman in terms of it's just like by the numbers. You know, like the dialogue is lifted from other movies. The
But
plot
the
is
comedy made more
lifted.
sense in Blue Beetle, especially with George Lopez.
No, that's what I loved about it. The comedy, the chemistry.
Yeah, like I just didn't have a chance because when it came out in August, I was busy for work, and then Fan Expo came up, and then it's on Crave, so I still
Well,
have to.
I have to say one thing. When you watch Blue Beetle, it's very targeted to one audience, and it's not the superhero audience.
Is it the people of color audience?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's and I get it 100%. And it's trying to create that like connection. Like
Diversity.
I'm, it's Like I was like,
Grandma.
oh my, oh, I can see how this can connect, like for me with my background. But I was like, I'm like, again, like when I've seen Blue Beetle and like different, like in from the TV show that I couldn't watch past episode 1, and see him in different cartoons and whatever it was just like the movie just felt like it was like a fun child movie that you watch in the background.
And that
right?
circles back to Zach's point, where I feel like if they had started, let's say, Young Justice, and introduced him in there, introduced Aquaman,
but now you're building upon that character.
It's like I feel like Marvel and Disney, I mean Disney and DC has this rivalry where like who can push it out first, right? Who can get to the Hispanic audience first? Who can get to this audience first, right? It's like we have to be the first one to do it.
But the issue has always been with DC is that they've always been playing catch up. Like just look at Man of Steel, great movie. But then we look at Batman versus Superman. That wasn't first of all, that wasn't Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice. That was Batman featuring Superman Rush to the Justice League.
Yeah.
But have you seen the extended version though?
Yeah.
Ultimate. Oh yeah.
It made way more sense, did it not?
Yeah, but it still wasn't a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It doesn't make it a good movie.
Yeah, no. I like that movie.
But again, you can like the movie. It doesn't make it good.
What if the release dates were switched? What if Aquaman Lost Kingdom came out in August and be the final movie of the DCU, and then Blue Beetle comes out right now as the first piece in the James Gunn verse?
I don't think it would have done any.
But it would make no sense.
It wouldn't make any difference. It just at least give a like. I
also think
they're both so standalone
as the first movie for the new. They definitely open.
It's also
Superman.
It's also a very funny position where we are from when Black Adam came out. Black Adam comes out, you get the mid-credit scene of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
and now you look at like you've got since then you've had Blue Beetle, Flash, and Aquaman, and it's like.
And
it's
Shazam,
almost like
you're forgetting Shazam.
No, I didn't. It's very forgettable.
I haven't seen that.
I still haven't seen it.
How do you guys feel about The Rock wanting Superman instead of Shazam? Because I have an opinion about that.
In my opinion, I would have rather gone with Henry Cavill because I think that would have just put him back into the DCU. We could have kept going. Instead, like that Fury of the Gods, the Shazam 2 movie, again, is it a great movie? No. Did I have fun? Mostly. The first Shazam movie, I love that movie. Like that first Shazam movie, like it tugs at the heartstrings. It's a perfect time, especially. I don't know if
it's an ego thing with The Rock. I'm assuming it's an ego thing with The Rock, but what's the dude's name that plays Shazam again?
Zachary
Levi. Yeah. I'm assuming that he sees him as less of a character than Superman, like worthwhile in the movie. You know what I mean? And to his thing, I don't really like Zachary Levi as Shazam, for the simple fact that DC is downplaying Shazam, in my opinion, which he is like a top tier character.
Yeah.
And to me, he's downplayed in that movie so much to the point where like he's like a B or C level character. You know what I mean?
Well, even
he's
they
so
kind of
childish. Even when he's in Shazam.
He's more childish as an adult than he is as a child. It doesn't make no sense to me.
Like it's even funny, like in Shazam, even the mid-credit scene, it's like he doesn't even get invited to the Justice League. He gets invited to the Suicide Squad. It's like, we want you to be on this hero team, but it's not with Batman and Wonder Woman. You're going to be like with Peacemaker and Weasel.
Yeah.
But I think for the first Shazam movie, they actually put him in like padding and stuff for his suit. I think they do that for everyone, but I feel like it was a little bit more noticeable in his suit.
Well, in the first Shazam movie, the suit is bigger than what his head is. So like,
it looks odd. It looks disproportionate, right? I thought it was only me, so I'm like, I googled it. I'm like, they put a little bit of extra muscle
straight
in there.
Jim, baby.
So for The Rock, looking at that, like, I mean, do you want to fight Zachary Levi in a padded suit, or do you want to go against?
Well, I think also for that too, it was more of the significance because it was like The Rock really was pushing that Black Adam was, the hierarchy of the DC universe is changing. So it's like if we go watch with the Justice League movie, there was this internet meme that I saw that was funny. So it's like, it's all the Justice League, right? So it's a picture of everybody, you know, Cyborg, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. And it was like, the Justice League at 100% power. And then it was a picture of just Superman, and it was like the Justice League at 99.9% power.
Yeah. I was a huge Black Adam fan. I'm a huge fan of The Rock.
Me
I got
too.
all the
And
gears.
he's
did
Egyptian.
I thought you were an Aquaman fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Aquaman.
I was expecting a different answer from you at the at the
Yeah,
screening.
surprised me there.
I was like, what? Black Adam. But is
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Adam a hero, or is it more of an anti-hero, no?
Yeah. Moving from villain to anti-hero.
And they did it in the comics too, right? Like after the movie.
Yeah.
So he's a member of the Justice League. I mean,
Yeah.
Luther is too, but
And
whatever.
like he powers up the whole Justice League. It's crazy. I bought a whole bunch of Black Adam comics. I've been reading them all.
I would have
Nerd.
loved to see him. I would have loved to see him as Shazam, but I don't think Zachary Levi Shazam is the right Shazam to go against.
Yeah. Well,
Henry Cavill as Shazam.
You know who we need as Shazam? Nate Weir.
We have him as the Shazam already. Yeah,
Well, I would have loved to have seen John Cena as Shazam.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Just get Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
you know?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. But
Stone Cold.
you know, it's funny too when you
Got
look
the hair
at
for
Black.
it.
Like when I look at Black Adam and I look at Aquaman 2, the standout character for me in Black Adam was Dr. Fate. Like Dr. Fate, like Pierce Brosnan.
What a
was
waste
amazing.
of a fucking character.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
he's one of my.
it's sort of like Dr. Fate was my standout in Black Adam, same like Orm is my standout in Aquaman 2.
Right.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, I think you just answered it. Like
I'll do the rest of
the
the
past
interview
year from Black Adam to today, all the movies been rushed. I can feel that every single movie has been rushed, and there hasn't been that like, hey, let's take 2 years to make this movie instead of, or whatever. Add an extra year just to like do more testing, check out how to piece everything together.
They did that with the Batman.
Yeah.
You mean
And look at how it worked.
I
you
hated
mean
that
the Flash
they put it
or
on.
Batman?
first two.
Which one are we talking about?
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Okay.
Yeah, Matt
So,
Reeves
but-
put his
Sorry,
foot down.
I got to specify which movie.
I'm like, but yeah, no, that's the biggest thing. Like everything from like Shazam, it just felt like again, it was rushed. Aquaman, it was rushed. Also
Yeah,
with
like they're
Black
just
Adam,
pumping
those
movies
those
out.
in between scenes of like the storyline was just like they just kind of like mushed them together, and if there was like the acting was terrible with the kid and the mother and discussing what's happening, like how Black Adam became Black Adam. It was just everything doesn't like there are good scenes in these movies, right? There are parts of it that you're like, oh shit, this is a superhero movie. 60 minutes into the movie,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
every 10
yeah.
minutes was okay. Every 10 minutes after that 10 minutes, but it's like I don't know. They're honestly like, instead of making a proper DC movie that we knew from childhood 20 years ago, 25 years ago, today's movies are being replicated as like, how can we make something that hits 99% of the audience versus only 10% of the audience? But hitting 10% of the population, we'll say, of 8 billion people is better than trying to hit 7 billion, and everyone's like, okay, this is just like, play with my kid in the
I
background.
was looking at the comparison that someone did on TikTok with the Marvels, and there were 2 other movies on that list. And in terms of like the profits that they made, they were quite similar, but the Marvels were being, and the budget and the profits were quite similar, but the Marvels was being deemed as a flop, which I'm like, okay, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So I don't know if the superhero movies are being, you know what I mean, looked at.
Well,
in a little bit.
So typically with flops, they include how much they spend on marketing. So Marvel usually spends a lot more on marketing in their budget. So typically whatever you see the budget is, let's say $250 million, that's typically how much they've spent for marketing as well.
It's usually
That's
double. So
ridiculously
whatever they spend on the movie, it's usually double that.
Yeah. So
And,
if you see 250 million, it's probably 500 million.
That's ridiculously high. And like bringing it back to the Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker movie made $1 billion, and the budget was $50 million.
Well,
But if
like
you-
when we did the DC podcast, and I brought up the one point, it's like if the Joker made 200 million, it would have been considered a complete success. Like $1 billion, nobody ever saw that coming.
But
Well, the
like,
first
if
And they
you
let
look
the
at-
director
you
do
know?
it.
But if you also look at the type of movie that the Joker is, it makes sense that it only costs 50 million, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's we're talking about like there's like basically one lead character. It takes place in the city. They're not needing to make environments,
There's no
right?
CG.
They're just renting spaces, right?
You can't make
Whereas,
Aquaman
like-
for 50 million.
Pardon?
You can't make Aquaman in Atlantis for 50 million.
No, it probably cost them 50 million just to like fucking CGI the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, so the first Aquaman made a billion.
Billion.
Where do we think that
One.
Aquaman 2 is going to hit?
What's it sitting at right now, worldwide?
Yeah.
I think 50
Opening weekend.
I think
projections are
they're
low.
projecting 50 million, I think.
They said it's the lowest ever, right? Even lower than the biggest Marvel flop.
So 50 million was Marvel's first weekend. So I think it's going to be similar, like 200 million. I
which
think that
is-
after pushing it, because it's also pushed in Asia, right? This the
Yeah.
film and
Yeah, big
everything.
China
So
market.
it might do well there, right?
Mhm.
But in North America, like I want it to do well, right? So like DC's kind of pushed, but it's I don't know. It's not just Aquaman and made $1 billion 5 years ago. It's what I don't know who I was reading about it. Like the pace of like them coming out with movies. You can't come out with Aquaman 2 5 years later after the first one. You know,
Yeah.
it's too long. You have to
Yeah.
2 years, 3 at the most. And I get COVID was an issue, and there was a lot of different things that occurred. But it just felt like the storyline with DC isn't consistent. There's not a flow like Marvel has usually. Like there's some sort of connection you can have versus
Yeah, because you don't have
DC is just like-
directors working together. That's the problem. Like you
Well,
don't have
it's
directors working together.
Well, it's not even just that. DC, they just hand out like Batgirl, for example. Like somebody who basically was like, I want to do a Batgirl movie, and they're like, they make a Batgirl movie. And
no,
like,
exactly. But with the
and-
first Wonder Woman movie, they had that photo, and it was explained in the what was it? BVS. Was it BVS when Bruce had the photo of her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they tied it in. But when you have different directors with own visions and they don't talk to each other,
But-
or they don't
No,
work
but
with
that's
each other, it's like
the big problem is that so Marvel, they're like, okay, so we have, we need to get to this Avengers movie. And we want these characters in that Avengers movie. So we're gonna
Right.
make these movies to get there. Whereas DC is like, okay, we got to make a second Aquaman movie at some point. And everybody's like, cool. I want to do a Booster Gold movie, and it's like, fuck, okay.
yeah, no, exactly.
So,
They're like, give me Blue Beetle, give me Captain Atom, but I want to make sure you have a Justice League at the end of it.
yeah.
Like how?
So it's just,
And
it's
then the
just
leadership
like,
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So,
got Martian Manhunter sitting on the sidelines for the whole movie.
Hey.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Warner
there's just
Brothers
not
is to
as
blame.
good structure in with DC.
But it was technically supposed to be Jon Stewart instead of John Jones in the Snyder cut.
I'll take
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Jones. I'll take
I would've
Martian
want-
Manhunter.
I wanted to see Idris Elba as Jon Stewart though.
That would have been
Mm.
sick.
Yeah.
But he still was
That's my
hilarious as
fantastic.
Bloodsport. I liked him as Bloodsport.
I have to give it another chance. I turned it off. I have to give it another chance. So, what do you guys feel about the end of
Overall-
the DCEU?
Huh?
What do you
I was
guys
gonna
feel
s-
about the end of the DCEU? Like, how do you guys feel? Are you
Sad.
disappointed? You happy?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm
I-
sad it's ending, and I'm sad of the way it ended. Like we got no
Yeah.
resolution
No,
to Zack
no,
Snyder's
100%.
Justice League.
In a way,
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy it's ending for the way it was ran. You know what I mean? It's
So
like
yeah, I'm happy they're moving in a different direction. I just think like again, it's like what we talked about earlier on in the podcast. Is it's like that after credit scene is really the period that they're putting on
yeah,
this. Like really, like how fucking lame.
yeah.
So when
There's a
they
lack of
announced,
respect, man.
yeah, when they announced that James Gunn's taken over, like that's when Black Adam was coming out.
Yeah,
You know, Henry Cavill's back. You know, Henry Cavill's gone. Like that was messed up.
James Gunn firing everybody. Like
ridiculous. And at that point, there was 4 more DC movies coming out, like
Yeah.
Shazam, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, and
The Flash.
something. Yeah, Flash. So there's 4 movies. So I was like desperately like doing my fan fiction thing. Like, okay, you got 4 movies. Put like a 5-minute post-credit scene on each movie. That's 20 minutes. Somehow resolve this whole like storyline. Like they could have
Like I
done
honestly,
something.
they needed one final, Justice League or
Yeah, just
something
like
that
Ben
you-
Affleck, Henry
you
Cavill,
know.
they're there. They're willing to work for you. Ben
Yeah,
Affleck is an
exactly.
Oscar-winning writer, director. Like Henry
How about we
Cavill's
start?
amazing.
How about we start a GoFundMe for Zack Snyder?
Yo, there already is one, man. Holy,
Like,
it's
everybody
like a
loves that.
petition being signed, right? Like
Every day, yeah.
like it's almost like if they were going to destroy, like almost now, I kind of want the Flash to come out now, because if that was going to destroy the whole DC universe,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That
should
come
have
out
been the last
now?
movie, yeah.
that should have been the last movie of
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah.
That should have been the
Yeah.
last, the Flashpoint event. Now,
Yeah.
just because where it came out, it's like, okay, now we got Blue Beetle. Well, where does Blue Beetle fit? It's like,
What?
oh no,
They
it's
didn't
part
even
of the
know.
whole Gunverse now. Okay, so we
Yeah.
got Aquaman now. Again, love the movie. I had so much fun watching it, but it's like, like it's like the saying goes,
irrelevant.
it's like
But
a
It's irrelevant.
popcorn fart. So
This is the biggest thing I have to say. We think of it like this. Us here in this room, we look at it as a story, right? We want to build.
Connected.
Most movie goers today, and I go to premieres every fucking day. The biggest issue is everyone just like watch the movie, like, oh, it's okay, good, I'm happy, and like
doesn't have to be
that's their
connected.
all process. That it's just this. They don't look into the story.
The
They don't like when
NPCs of the world.
exactly. But that's the biggest issue. Like if you look at Barbie,
oh
right?
man, I like calling them NPCs more than muggles.
If you guys watch Barbie, right, there's so many hidden messages in that movie. When I
Oh,
watched it, I was
great.
like, what the like I was honestly so shocked when I saw Barbie because they were just projecting so many different ways. I don't want to start saying everything, but like but everyone's like, no, this is a great movie. It's really bright. It was nice with the actors.
But it's
I
like they
really
didn't
like
get the
how
message
Ryan
of the
Gosling
movie.
was so emotional. And I was like, what movie did you watch? And what movie did
so
I
you're
watch?
saying there were like subliminal messages in the movie.
Oh, there's 100%. The
Yeah.
whole movie
yeah.
was
But
But that's
the whole
that's
movie
pretty much
is
how
like-
it is with
it's
with all
it's
media, man.
commentary on society. Like
They diss capitalism.
no, exactly.
patriarchy, Zack Snyder.
But at least
No, but
Aquaman
exactly,
just
yeah.
said, "Oh, the world's ending and it's global warming," right? That like twice in the news. But it's like trying to project the whole like we didn't really hear about that until the 2 news articles, right? Like one at the beginning and one at the end, and I was like, okay, whatever, right? But in general terms, like, yeah, movies today, they have an agenda to it, and that's like my biggest issue. That like you're like you can't just watch a movie. Like when I watched Oppenheimer, right? I really enjoyed it because it was history. It felt like you just watched it. It was direct and it was long, but it was like very well done, right? But in general terms, it was just like I don't know. I like when I'm looking. A friend of mine just asked me, who's a reviewer. He reviewed over 150 movies this year. And he's like, what's your favorite movie? And I was like looking at it. I'm like, what? I really liked. I don't know if you guys watched Blackberry, but that was seriously one of the best movies.
That's like a
movie.
documentary, right? I was actually
Yeah,
supposed to watch
it's not even a documentary. It's a movie, but it's like a doc movie. I don't know.
documentary style.
Yeah. Okay.
Docudrama.
No, it's not a doc. It's not a docu. It's like a movie, but it tells you the history of Blackberry.
Of Blackberry.
So it's
okay.
a historic, but yeah, but it's so well done. I'm telling you right now. I went to Blackberry premiere and saw the movie, and then I saw it again, and it was like it honestly 2 times seeing it, I just loved it. And then, but that was last year. I think that was the end of last year. So when Black Adam kind of came out, and then this year, I'm like, when I look at all the movies, and I've seen at least 50 plus movies, and I'm just like going through the list today for like a good 20 minutes. What came out in 2023, and what can I be like? Yeah, I really like this movie. And the biggest one that came to me was Oppenheimer, and then everything else was just like, oh, it was a filler of the year. Like nothing impact me. But a friend of mine did recommend like 2-3 movies that I will go watch. But it's like, it's those type of movies not the general masses will watch. Like I watched Wonka. Wonka was a great movie in the sense like it was a very family oriented movie about, bringing family together. It doesn't matter who you are, be great, right? Like cool, that's what Wonka is, and that's what the story is supposed to be of a prequel, right? Okay, I get that. But when you're trying to build, you know, stories and a world around, you know, DC, Marvel, or like the Barbie or whatever it is, it just like, it feels like a lot of it just everyone was just making it just to make a movie, make their money. If it hits $1 billion, they're happy, right? They're like, okay, this paid for 5 of the movies we made this year. You know, that's how I feel like they look at it. They're like, we'll make 10 movies, 10 of them will be shit, or no, 9 of them will be shit, and if one succeeds and makes $1 billion, okay, guys, we broke even. We paid a bunch of people money, and we played our stockholders, right? So that's how I look at it these days, and that's how it feels like the movie industry, and at least in the past like 3 years or 4 years, you'll get 1 or 2 good movies, and then that's it. But you won't get like 20 good movies that most people will watch. It's just like, yeah, there might be a good movie at TIFF. There might be a good movie here. There might be a movie I've never seen, but people are like, oh shit, that's a good movie. But you didn't hear about it. There was no advertising around it or whatever it is, right?
I feel like the landscape has changed so much though, like especially with the audiences. If a movie like Inceptive or Shutter Island had come out now, I don't think it would do as well. You know what I mean? Like I feel like back in the day, people had more. I don't know if this is based on superhero movies spoiling it for people, or changing the whole landscape of movies, but like movies like that, Godfather and stuff like that came out, or you know what I mean. I feel like they would do quite differently now.
I think.
But that's Oppenheimer.
I think
that's
what you're
Oppenheimer.
trying to,
yeah, but
I think what you're trying to get at.
How did it do in comparison to Barbie, though?
I think what you're trying to get at is that people don't want to go to movies to think anymore.
Yes, exactly.
And then
that's the Marvel effect.
There's no substance.
They still need a certain structure to it. But I also find like something like, you know, if we look at some of the DC movies now, they're literally just Marvel movies with different characters. But the same people who will go and say The Marvels was a great movie will go and say Aquaman was a terrible movie when Aquaman was better than The Marvels. But I'm finding it's like brand loyalty. It's like when people are like, Xbox is better than PlayStation. It's like, okay, but I'm just gonna come out and say I'm a PlayStation guy. But when we're talking about Xbox versus PlayStation, it's like I can get the same fucking games on, you know, Xbox as I can on PlayStation, but PlayStation does have better exclusives.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But if we're just talking about overall like systems, like
I think Xbox is a better system.
Pardon?
I think Xbox is a better system, even though I'm a PlayStation guy myself. I think the hardware in Xbox is better than PlayStation.
But it's
the games are better.
But that's my point. That stuff is so marginal that it doesn't. It's irrelevant, right? Like we all play and watch in 4K. Like we're good.
Yeah, but brand loyalty is a factor.
But that's what I mean. It's like, but people are like, Xbox is better because it's Xbox.
I think that's more of an American thing, though. If you go anywhere in the world, it's all Sony. It's all PlayStation.
Yeah, but I'm just using that as an example for like. Sorry, my phone's dying. I'm using it as an example for like for the Marvel DC thing. I think people just hate DC just because they like Marvel.
No, it's because it's even with the even with Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, those movies had so much substance in it. To me personally, it took a lot to think about why is Superman so dark? Why is he so why did he kill Zod? You know what I mean? There's so many things that Zack added to that movie to make you think, like, you know what I mean? But people didn't want that. We want a bright Superman. Right off the bat, he should be bright. He should be accepting of everything. He should be this Boy Scout right away. I'm like, no, man, he's building up to that. He's misunderstood. He doesn't understand what's going on. He's new to the earth, So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Just to also give you a heads up, Cosplay, that Oppenheimer made $1 billion and then Barbie made 1.5. But I think that's a given from. It's like that was a more happy movie.
The crowd.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like it's more kids. Like kids are not going to go to Oppenheimer to go see that. That's a Godfather movie of the year versus we're talking about Barbie is
Well, and then something like Barbie, it's that movie that for how long Barbie's been around, there's never been a theatrical release. So everybody, multiple generations grew up with Barbie. We get to finally see it on the big screen.
Well, it's just like when Star Wars Force Awakens came out, right? Like everybody rushing to see that movie, and it's not very good.
Doesn't have to be good. Yeah, and still made $1 billion.
But this is what this is what these companies do. Like, okay, now, who made Barbie?
Warner Brothers.
Warner
Okay,
Brothers.
so they've hit Mattel with they've got a hit with that, right? So now they're gonna look for every Mattel toy or game and push it out, and people are gonna get sick of it.
Yep.
They're gonna get sick of it, and it's not gonna have that same impact as Barbie did.
Well, that's why they're coming out with Bratz.
I don't think people care about Bratz the same way they care about Barbie. Barbie's been around forever. You know what I mean?
Is there a Barbie 2? Is that going to happen?
So what they're doing, they're building the universe of the Barbie universe or whatever. So they have like I can't remember the number. They have like how many movies will Mattel make with one? Let's see. There was a confirmation that they said 45.
Ridiculous,
45
man.
more movies. 45 toy movies. So they're going to be making
Hasbro's making movies too.
Yep.
It's supposed to be a Monopoly movie or something like that.
I guess I don't know, but yeah. So long story short, they're going to be making everything, like anything that Mattel makes, they're making it. So
the movie
Hot
industry
Wheels
is done, man.
or Bratz and anything. I don't know. Like for me, I'm just like, oh, Barney and oh look, Uno, Polly Pocket, Barney, Major Matson, Magic 8 Ball, Hot Wheels, Master of the Universe, Christmas Balloon, Tom the Tank Engine, Rock'em off their robots. So that's just some
I
of
want to see some Rock'em Sock'em robots. Let's go.
So I mean, but
we
like
already had that. It was called Real Steel.
Oh right, yeah.
But
Magic 8 Ball movie.
I gotta give it to Warner Brothers though. Like I've been to the few premieres and screenings. They pretty much go all out for theirs. I've never had a bad experience at a Warner Brothers premiere screening before.
Speaking of Warner Brothers, Aquaman 2, big movie, big budget, no red carpet premiere.
Because they knew that's the end, man. They're not gonna. Well, I mean, they did have it bigger in New York, but Toronto doesn't get shit anyways.
No, but LA, they didn't have one in LA.
They didn't, yeah. I think it was in New York from what I see.
Man. It's the last movie and the most irrelevant last movie.
Yeah.
Like we talk about Blue Beetle, right? Like where somehow that's in the James Gunn universe but came out before Aquaman. It's like this movie just kind of it's almost like why does this movie exist?
Yeah.
I would have popped so hard if at the premiere or the advanced screening if like Patrick Wilson stood out from behind a curtain and go, "Hi folks, I'm here."
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is they kept this movie till Christmas is because it pushes movie goers, right? Like families want to go during the holidays. Everyone's off for about 10 days, 2 weeks. So somebody who used to work in the movie theater, I can confirm that the day where people like the movie, like every movie will sell out in theaters is the Tuesday after Christmas.
So it'll be Boxing Day next week.
So I don't know if it'll be
Boxing Day. It's Boxing Day, 26.
I don't know if that'll be the day, but usually, let's say if Christmas was on a Friday, the following Tuesday, that's when everybody goes.
Christmas is on a Monday this year, so you're saying it's going to be 26th or January 2nd?
It'll probably be January 2nd.
Okay.
But yeah, so that'll be like so. It's just like, do you guys notice when Fast and the Furious releases their movies?
May or Memorial Day weekend,
or Easter weekend.
Yeah,
right,
because they got Good Friday and Easter Monday, so they have a long weekend for everybody to go see the movie.
Makes sense.
That's what Avatar did last year,
right?
And that pushed Aquaman 2 was supposed to come out last Christmas, 2022.
Yeah,
and it's because of Avatar: Way of Water that Warner Brothers backed off, basically.
How did that movie do financially?
I'm just checking right now as we speak.
I think Avatar made over $1 billion. I'm guessing. I think it got like
2.3. No, wait. Sorry,
$2 billion.
Yeah, 2.32 billion. Oh wow, they did the smart move and pushed that in last year December.
Right,
2.32.
I mean, Aquaman is gonna get crushed anyways.
Yeah. And the first one almost hit 3 billion. 2.923.
It's a dying franchise. I don't think people are gonna. Like, I mean, the regular, normal moviegoers might go watch it, but the people who are actually invested into the DCEU is probably not going to care to go.
Well, the next Avatar is coming this year, right? 2024. They're spread out every 2 years, and then the last one.
Wait, didn't the first one take like 15 years to make?
Yeah.
So
But
how's he making them so fast now?
They're filmed back to back. He
because
filmed at the same
they're
time.
filmed back to
Oh,
back.
okay.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it only
So
took that long, the first one, because he knew he didn't have the technology he needed to make the movie.
right.
Oh, okay.
So he already finished all.
Well-
So what is there? 4 coming out and 3 already done. Like they're already filmed. They still have to be edited, and then the last one still has to be filmed. So
Yeah,
I
and
think the 4th
that
one or the 5th one, whatever it is.
Few scenes that need to be filled in, and
Exactly.
he's waiting for actors to like grow up and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I
this
saw
should
all
be
the
a pretty
actors
good.
last year, and it was cool. But again, like I felt that movie felt like it was still good visually. Like the storyline was a little iffy on it. But again, they're building. There's 5 more movies or 4 more movies to go. So woo, let's go Avatar. At least we have some sort of franchise that like something that we knew for 15 years ago. But yeah, it's just sad to see that that the DCEU universe is now just completed without like. And you're right, Ed. What you were saying, if they brought out the Flash and just gave us a little bit of the ending and just like kind of say the world was ending kind of thing in a after trailer, and like I don't know, Doomsday or whatever, something happened, right? Then we're like, okay, at least that's
Makes
an ending
sense.
to it. But now it's like Aquaman and like, oh, here's a cockroach. I'm like, oh, ha 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 ha. I waited till the end after the 10-minute credits, and there was nothing.
I don't even understand. Like, I don't even understand not Zack Snyder's, James Gunn's new universe. Anyway, like, why are you coming out with like Creature Commandos? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Waller, who's gonna watch that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, man.
Maybe it's too soon for the big names. Like it's too soon to recast Batman.
No, but that's what they need to do, because that's even like I look at Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So when they were coming out, I knew who they were because I read comic books, but I legitimately was like, who the fuck is gonna watch this? Because nobody knows who they are, and they did a great job marketing and getting people out, which was incredible, and surprising. But that just worked for Marvel, because at the time Marvel had such crazy popularity.
Yeah.
Whatever Marvel was going to come out, people were going to go see. The problem with DC right now is it has a very low rating. People don't like it, and now you're throwing in characters that even like readers like me are like, ooh, like we barely hear about them when we read the comics. Like,
Did you guys like the Swamp Thing show?
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I was pissed when it got canceled.
That was James Wan, actually. That was James Wan.
Definitely up his alley.
Yeah, I think there was
James
some
Wan
issues
was
with the actual town that they were filming in, then that they had to cancel or something like that. But he's making a movie about it too, so I don't know.
Wait, is James Wan doing Swamp Thing for the DCEU?
I don't. It's in James Gunn's universe. I don't know who's directing it.
Wow.
Okay, they just need to stick to their 7 Justice League members, and then maybe introduce in each movie other characters, and then maybe after a second Justice League movie, then they can start bridging out.
They just need to copy and paste the Justice League cartoon, man. That's pretty much all they have to do, or limited or something.
I mean,
go with that.
Really, just animated all of their if they went from their Flashpoint animated movie.
Oh my god,
all of
bro!
this,
If they just release their animated movies in theater and market those, I will go watch it.
Yeah.
Just put the
100%.
animated movies in theaters.
In theater, I'll go watch it.
Yeah, I'll go watch the Snyder Cut in theaters if they put that out, man.
Yeah, I want
I actually was talking to the Cineplex person. I want to do that next year. Watch.
Yeah, I tried renting it. I asked if I could rent a theater. How much? You can't. I couldn't get the Snyder Cut though because they don't have the whatever licensing for it.
No, but they don't. They told me I could bring a DVD. They told me I could bring my own.
Oh yeah,
that's what I heard.
I'm coming.
DVD.
Yeah, I
I
rented a theater and had fucking Mortal Kombat on the screen, man. Like,
how much did it cost?
It only costs what, $400, $500?
Yeah, I think this was like 10 years ago. It was like $300, I think.
That's
now
bad.
it's $400 or $500. I think it's $499. You know what I used to love? This is the craziest thing. If you had 20,000 scene points, they would give you a theater for 4 hours, and they would give you every Xbox, PlayStation. But this was like 5 years ago. But like that was cool. Like I had like 20,000. I'm like, you know what? I'll invite everyone. We're gonna watch a movie together. but they removed it, and then I'm like, now I have 20,000 scene points, and that's like 4 VIP movies. I'm like, okay, well, this is it.
Yeah, this blows.
Like I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to do that every year for like the first release of the Superman comic. So I was thinking to do that. So every start it off with the first Superman movie and do that every year. Make it
up. Well, you can bring. I think there's a limit of how many people you can bring, like 50 people, right? Just charge everyone $5, like and I think that's like a stupid like anyone would give $5 to just go to see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that would cover the fee altogether.
Exactly, cover the cost. Yeah. Anyways, I got to go, guys.
Cool. All right, wait, before you go,
you don't get to go until this is done.
No, we're gonna wrap up now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, we'll go around and rate the Aquaman movie.
All right, out of 10.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Zach's probably in the 4 or 5 area.
Okay, I'll answer. I have an answer. So the answer is the first part of the hour of the movie was a 4 out of 10. The last part of the movie was a 6 out of 10. How I looked at it. I would love to give it a 6 out of 10, but the overall it kind of balances out at like 4.55. I'll average. I'll give it like, but it's. I can't even give it a 50% because at least a 50% is like, oh, I'd watch it on an airplane movie. Like a 7 out of 10 would be telling me I would watch it again. Like I would rewatch just like, I'm like, oh shoot. A 5 out of 10 means like, oh, if it's there, I'll watch it. Like I will change the channel. Like if it's at the ending, I'll be like, you know what? I'll watch this. I'll finish. Let me see the fight again. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
You tuned in at the desert scene.
Exactly. And then I was like, oh, this is funny. But then if it's like at the beginning, I'm like, oh, I'll go watch something for an hour. And
have you guys ever done that in a movie though, where you kind of like just fast forward the scenes to just watch the part that you want to watch?
Oh yeah. Sometimes
I do that with Black Adam.
I'm like, yo, I want to remember how this moment happened. I'm like, oh shit, I missed that little scene. I'm like, oh, they added a juice box that said Superman's the best. I don't know, like that's cool to see when they add those little like secret parts. And like, of course, when you watch Aquaman the first time, you don't catch every little thing, right? Every Easter egg in it. But yeah, like, yeah, it's, I think just to give it justice, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Just to, it was an ending. It was an enjoyable movie, but it's not the best DC movie that came.
Yeah.
Zach?
I would give it like a 5.7. So, so not exactly a 6. So how I rate movies is, am I glad that I saw this movie for free? Would I pay to see this movie? Would I see this movie again? Am I going to buy this movie on Blu-ray? So this movie is in the I'm glad I saw it for free section.
All right.
Kareem?
Yeah, I'm gonna be rating it higher than most of y'all, I think. But I agree. Like it has its flaws. It's choppy. Maybe there's parts missing. Aquaman is Lobo basically. I've already seen it twice, and I already have tickets to see it next week. And I'm probably gonna watch it a few more times. It's my brand loyalty kicking in, Like I've been buying everything Aquaman. I've been waiting years for this movie, so I'm probably gonna end up seeing it like 5 or 6 times. I do that a lot.
But if we separated your brand loyalty from this, what would you rate the movie?
So as a movie, like I watch a lot of movies. I can.
No, but I want to know. Wait. Can you say your brand loyalty score? That's what I want to know. In all honesty. And then you can go.
I want to know both.
Okay, yeah. So I'll answer you, Zach. If I remove my brand loyalty, then I'll say, okay, it was an enjoyable movie. It's like a fun family adventure. It's got the lighthearted jokes. But it didn't have much of a message. And I like it when movies have a message. Like I go style, substance, and story. Style, like the visuals were great. The soundtrack was really nice. I like the soundtrack. So the style was good. The substance was weak. Because it didn't tell me anything. It didn't challenge me. None of the characters were challenged, and the story was Orm.
Except Orm.
Yeah, Orm. Orm had like a half an arc. Orm had an arc. And yeah, so substance also lacking in substance. So I would give it a pretty maybe like a 5 or 6. You know, it's like a Fast and Furious movies. They're
Yeah.
very entertaining.
Yeah,
You know, like Black Adam was entertaining.
yeah,
But
not good movies to watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I like bad movies. I'll admit it. Like I like
Yeah, too. Like I said, Fast and Furious is my favorite franchise. Trash franchise.
yeah, and they have an appeal. You know what you're getting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as an Aquaman fanatic, as an Aqua fan, it's hard for me to look, you know, if I keep my Aqua lenses on, like I loved it because I like seeing, you know, underwater seas. I love seeing the new creatures like the Brine Kingdom, the Fish King. We didn't see the Trench, which was fine because we saw new characters. So I really like the character, the what do you call them, monsters or creatures. I love Atlantean history, if you want to call it Atlantean mythology. So knowing about the Sahara, the Deserter Kingdom.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a nerd out a little bit. There's a character from the Vedas called Shiva. You know, Shiva is pretty similar looking to Aquaman right now. He's got long hair. He's got a trident. And there are stories in the Vedas about Shiva destroying Atlantis. Like Atlantis exists in other mythologies and a lot of mythologies.
Yeah.
And so coming at it with
Sort of lost city mythology. Yeah.
It's pretty universal. And it's always in northern Africa where the Sahara is. I would have loved a little bit more of that. But like, I'm rewatching this old Indian anime this week. And it's all about Shiva sinking Atlantis with his trident, which is pretty similar to how Atlan, like, you know, they got too greedy or they got too much ego or too much greenhouse gases in this one.
All of it.
So I like that they took some of the Atlantean mythology. They kind of just cherry picked it, but it was a little light. Like they didn't go too deep into Atlantean lore, but it works for me, you know. But like that's because I'm a diehard like Atlantis and Aquaman fan. So like the fan service works for me.
So what's your
The
rating?
soundtrack worked. As a movie goer, like I'll say like 5 or 6. But as an Aquaman fan, yeah, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. But I'm still, as an Aquaman fan, I'm still disappointed. Like, I'm like, why didn't you call Batman? Where's Bruce Wayne?
I can accept an 8 out of 10 for an Aquaman fan.
Yeah, normally I would give everything a really high rating as a fan, but like, where was the Justice League?
Yeah,
that's
well, and it's not even just that. Where was, like, in the Flash? We can't call Superman. He's dealing with this. Oh, we can't do this. They're dealing with this. There was none of that in this movie.
Not even a mention.
Like, should call.
Yeah, and like I got the Aquaman Lost Kingdom preview comic. It's a prequel comic for the movie, and it has beautiful artwork. And page 1 is Wonder Woman helping Aquaman, and like Aquaman and Wonder Woman have a relationship, not sexual, but like they're similar because they're of other worlds that are like kingdoms of their own.
Yeah.
So
she was busy with Fast and the Furious 8. What was the number of that one? She's like, let me get my submarine. I'll be right back.
Yeah, she was in there. She's on a sub, man. Bring her over.
Yeah, like
it was Aquaman in Fast 10.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
There.
true.
So yeah, they even got John Cena Peacemaker in there.
They got
Yeah.
research.
We got Black Adam at the end. So I guess
they had the whole fucking DC universe in the Fast and the Furious. I love it. It was,
Ben Affleck
was
and Henry
fucking,
Cavill
I
was
remember
back.
saying this. I was like, best DC movie of the year.
Zack Snyder's Fast and the Furious.
I'll buy my ticket. Take my money. Just
What do you rate it, Ed?
All right, so I love the movie. I had a lot of fun. Is there problems? There's problems with every movie, but just going in, just watching it, enjoying it, I give it like 7 out of 10. Definitely, I will rewatch it again, and I will buy it on Blu-ray or 4K for my collection.
Solid.
Yeah.
And Orm is the best thing in the whole movie. Like he is the best.
Yes, I'm so behind that.
I made up my Orm cosplay. It was my first foam build. Cursed at it the whole time. And Allie cosplay, her and I were talking as soon as we walked out of the movie, and I said, oh man, I want to upgrade this after watching Orm on the big screen. And like that night, Do 3D released the 3D files for the complete 3D
you got it.
armor.
You got it?
Nice.
I haven't got it yet, but I'm gonna wait until
I want to do the Manta cosplay, but I don't want to do the new one for obvious reasons. I'm not Zach, right? But yeah. I'm gonna do the first armor, the first
Power
power suit.
Power
Yeah, I'm
suit.
gonna do the power suit. I have like half of it built printed already. So
Nice.
Well,
So
I
we're gonna
figure
do it- we're
because
gonna
we
do a
have
suit.
sort of this Aqua community now, and there's enough Aqua cosplayers in the area, I'm like, no, I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna get 3D
Ocean Mask.
print the full suit because
Do they have it?
like-
Do they have his helmet too?
yeah, it's
Ooh.
it's one package. So it's the suit, the belt, the gauntlets, the shin pads,
Wow.
and the
And
helmet.
I think they got a sale right now. You should get it.
I'm going, yeah. I have enough on my 3D printing
Plate.
docket to begin with, but it was like, no, I want to upgrade the foam because it just
There we
also
go.
we were like going and stopping where like originally it was like, hey, this might happen. Let's work on this. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, because Roberto said, which out of these characters, what do you want to do? I'm like, oh geez, I want Orm. So I started working on it. It's like, no, it might not happen.
Well,
And I'm
because
like, well,
we didn't know about the screening until maybe a few weeks before, right? So it's like
Yeah. So like I was on and off, and then like up till Tuesday, I was still painting stuff, like ready to go. So
yeah. So DJ for us, it's like we need at least a month or 2 months to start building stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
So-
I'm like, I remember going to Fan Expo and interviewing a bunch of people, and I'm like, how long did it take you to build this? The guy he had the Batman outfit from oh my god, why am I
BVS?
being terrible?
The
Like
armored one?
when the apocalyptic one. What is that? What called?
Oh, yeah, Nightmare.
Nightmare. This guy's like, okay, well, I had to build this out of thing. He's like, it took him like a year to like source everything, make the jacket, make the helmet, and it was 99.9% exact. Like that's how good it was.
That's probably.
And when I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
that's probably Reed. Yeah, that was probably Reed.
oh,
yeah.
okay. I have a video of him somewhere, or I think I posted it. I don't even know. But yeah, he was so on point that I was like, wow. But he said it took a year, and I'm like, okay, this looked like a year's worth of work. And then he's like, yeah, and I'm like, how much did you spend? He's like, because like I bought everything and I sourced it, I think it was just like $1,000. But I'm like, if anybody asked to make that would have been like an easy $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 outfit. Easy.
Yeah. Wow.
When Ben Affleck wanted to take the Batman suit home with him, they were like $100,000.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck made a bat cave in his house.
Wow.
When he got cast, the first thing he made a bat cave, and his gym is in a bat cave in his house, man. So that's dedication.
Got to get in his head space.
So
Yeah.
how do you guys think? How do you guys feel? Oh wait, before we go, Ed, what's your score? What's your rating?
Oh, 7 out of 10.
7.
7 out of 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How do you guys feel as Jensen Ackles as Batman or the dude from Reacher?
So I hate when anybody suggests like because it was the same thing with Jensen Ackles when he was Red Hood. They were like, oh my god, he'd make a perfect Red Hood. I'm like, okay, just because he voice acted the character doesn't mean he can act as the character. Jensen Ackles is a good actor. He's a good TV show actor. I can't see him carrying a movie.
Franchise.
I think that he has the presence that I would be looking for Bruce Wayne. I always say Bruce Wayne because anybody can be barely talks.
Yeah, it's a suit.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Feature, same thing. He's big. Like that's it. He's just a big guy. He's a great actor. Super nice guy. Very professional. But same thing. I don't like buy the look. I can see him. To me, I get like he'd be a good he would make like a good Red Hood. Like he's a little bit like big for Red Hood, but like that's who I could see him being a better character is Red Hood than Batman.
Yeah, that's true. I actually like Robert Pattinson as Bruce and Batman. I think he's very underrated. Yeah, he's very underrated as an actor.
Like, I saw Robert Pattinson in Tenet, and that kind of made me go, okay, maybe he won't fuck up.
Yeah. For my rating, I actually enjoyed the movie. The only problem I had was it was in 3D, and I hate 3D movies.
Oh, speaking of, sorry to interrupt, man. I saw it in IMAX 3D last night, and it was way better. I think on Wednesday we had it in real 3D, whatever that means. But
Yeah.
IMAX 3D was way better than.
Yeah,
than
so
like
I'm
that
not.
was-
I'm not a
I think
fan
that's
of
pretty
3D to begin with.
I don't
Okay,
like 60 frames per second. Just throwing it out there.
How
When
much?
they-
Sorry, what were you saying? What frames per second? How many?
60. I don't like when they make live
60?
action 60 frames per second.
60, 60. Okay.
Yeah. It just looks something looks wrong. I don't know what looks wrong. It just looks wrong.
It's not a smoothie.
No,
Yeah.
it's just too quick for you. It's too quick because our natural eye is 24, right? But now we
Exactly.
push it up to 30. But I do like 60. What I can't remember what movie did it, but they did 30 and 60. They like changed in between, and like some
Yeah.
point you
That
could
was the
do a
Will
60
Smith
and-
movie. Right?
Which one was that? With his
Gemini.
son? No.
They did
Was
that
it
in Gemini.
Gemini?
Anytime he fought his clone, they jumped the frame
The
rate.
60. Oh, interesting. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Like when I remember the Lord of the Rings one, whichever the Hobbit one or whatever it was called, the whole
That was
movie,
the one where I realized I didn't like it. I was like, I didn't know it was 60 frames.
because it was the whole movie, and that was the first
Yeah.
time that I ever like, and people were vomiting in the theater, right? So that's like,
Oh my god.
that's the problem. So but there was good scenes to it, like the fighting or like going through like a
Yes.
cave or something like that. You feel like you're like it's like pulling you in, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, about the 3D and IMAX, like you cannot anyone who ever sees a superhero movie, you cannot watch in a normal theater. Minimum, it has to be AVX, and preferably if it's made for an IMAX movie and it goes ceiling to floor, it better be in an IMAX. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like what we had yesterday. I even talked to Warner Brothers, and I'm like, there's 2 AVXs here. Did you guys not able to like reserve one of them? And I get it. It was most likely last minute, and they couldn't. They were like, oh, okay, you know what? We should still have something for the fans because we're not having a red carpet. So, but it was. I feel like they shot themselves in the foot because like it should be a minimum in an AVX because the projectors are different, the speakers are different,
Yeah.
and subwoofers are different, and also what you were saying, like real 3D versus 3D or whatever they're called. But yeah, it makes a huge difference, the IMAX, especially 3D, because it's a different type of coating and different type of. It's the same, like it's not like wearing glasses in a sense, and I didn't feel there was any 3D in this that when we watched it that felt I was like, oh shit, it jumped in.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I didn't feel that.
Avatar, I felt
I had those
everything
moments,
jumping
though.
up.
And I
Did
find
you
that a
at
lot.
IMAX? At the IMAX?
And IMAX, I definitely had those moments a lot. Like
Interesting.
there was
A lot of
fish floating in the
superhero-
theater, man.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these superhero movies now they just make them 3D because they get to charge more money.
Right, an extra
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah.
There was the one scene in Aquaman where it was underwater, and in the 3D part, it moved, and I actually got like motion sickness for a second.
Uh,
I felt like I was on a boat. I'm like, ugh. But
Sorry, cosplay, go.
Yeah.
I think we can go on a we can all agree on like a 5, 6,
we'll say
6
six.
max.
We'll say
Yeah,
six.
I was gonna say 5.5, but okay.
Okay, yeah. You know, 5.5 works. 5.5 it is.
Because if it wasn't free,
5.5.
if you paid for this movie, that's how you have to look at it. Like, of course, that's free. I'd be like, yo, this is an 8 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Like, every movie for me is a 10 out of 10 when it's free, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless it made me feel awful leaving it, right? And I go, like every movie I watch these days are free because I work with every production company. But like, I have to really be strict about it. And I hate saying that the movies aren't 5 out of 5 because people ask me in my DMs. I'm not gonna publicly say it in my post. Be like, no, this is the worst movie I've seen this year.
So
right?
that's a question. That's a question I want to ask you, DJ. Working with these studios, right? Do you think you can be honest at the premiere?
I am all the
At the
time.
screenings?
I am all the time. All the time with the
Even if it's
employees. I'm all the time with the reviews. Yeah, all the time. I'm a very so. I first started getting into this in 2014 because I used to review movies, and I had a conversation with someone at Universal for like seriously an hour. It was after Dumb and Dumber 2. Funny enough, I was like, That was the first movie I got for free. And then the lady's like, oh, can I get your opinion? And then she was right. And I saw the movie like 3 months before it came out. So they wanted all my notes. And funny enough, I saw the movie after, and some of the things I said weren't in the movie anymore. So some things were changed. And I was like, hey, it worked. It worked. So then after that, I started reviewing every movie. And I also got chosen to be like a secret reviewer. So I would be invited to movies and review movies that would only go to the production company. So it would be Universal, and then it would be who was it? Universal, 24 Fox. I never did it for Warner and Disney, but every time I go, I talk to them, and I'm serious. I'll never say a lie about the movie. I won't be like, this is the best movie ever, you should go watch it. I'll be like, oh, there was a good family bonding movie. There was some great action.
You're selective. You're selective with your words. Yeah,
exactly. Because I used to be one of the top 100 reviewers on Amazon in the world. That's a whole different story. But there was this one person who sent me this $100 headphones, right? It broke after like a week, right? And it didn't work. And I was like, I can't give you 5 stars. I'm going to ship it back to you. Like, oh, no. That was like one of my first reviews ever. And I was like, and the guy's like, please, I'll send you money. Just give me 5 stars, 5 stars. And I'm like, okay, shit, I'll give you 5 stars. I gave the guy 5 stars and I felt so bad. I think like after a month or 2, I deleted it. But I'm like, how many people bought that shitty ass product because I put a 5 star on it? And then after then, I never, ever, ever just said everything's 5 stars, because like you can say everything's great. Like, but like, as you just said, like you can enjoy a movie and like it, but is it a 5 star? Is it a 10-star movie? Right. And that's the real question, because you want to give that truth. And if I give it 10 stars and the overall rating is a 4.5, you know what the real rating was.
So
So
I think that's the issue that a lot of people have too, is they can't differentiate the liking the movie and then if it is a good movie. Just
right.
So
again,
another question
Kareem,
for you,
like,
DJ. Okay, so like after Aquaman, or any premiere, they usually do interviews, right? For this one, they did interviews. Can you be honest in the interview?
I was. So if you look at the interview, they posted it.
They chop it up. I know they do. I know they just take out the good part.
So they only
top the line, bro.
That's what I did with you, Zach.
Yeah.
No, but if you look at the interview, you'll notice what they did. I'm the face. I'm the face of the video. Woo!
Yeah.
He said they didn't even put my review in it. My review's not in it. And I'm like, oh, they usually show you in the beginning and then throw you in the middle at the end. They did not even do that for me. They just said, I was like, this is how the Aquaman King Lost of Kingdom, because I think I was the only one who knew the whole name of the so I said it. They used that part. Oh, this is what I thought of the movie. They put me in it and then nothing. They didn't even put my review, any part of it in it, because I was just a neutral.
Mid.
So does that hinder your chances for going to other premieres? Do you feel?
No, I go to every single one, so
okay.
I have a direct relationship.
I'm just asking for educational purposes.
Yeah. I mean, in general terms, like I think they want you. Like you can't be like I'll put it this way: there are a few people who went online and said Shazam's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen, whatever, and I've never seen them invited back. So I'll give you that answer. So if you're in a vulgar way and you choose to go out of your way to just be like, I just wasted 2 hours seeing this movie. How dare they even invite me? Like, like you're just being disrespectful, right? You still have to be respectful, because it's still, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, or trillion. Sorry, it might be a trillion, right? And you're going to be bad mouthing this. In Canada, it's most likely $1 billion industry, but like, it's you still have to be respectful. And for me, it's a business, right? Like for me, them inviting me is like them paying me as an invite, right? So that's how I look at it, right?
Yeah,
so I still work for me.
You gotta be professional.
100%. So, and like for me, I'm now working with Disney this year. I'm potentially going to be working with, Universal and Sony again. So like, there's been a lot of things that happened during COVID, and like everyone changed. Everyone I'm like, all these emails I had, they don't exist anymore. They've been fired. So I'm like, so you still have to rebuild. And like right now, there's just for Warner Brothers, there's 4 different agencies you have to deal with. And they don't know who you are, because each division deals with different specific movies or different parts of the organization. and you have to pretty much make a name and a face on every single level. And that's how I got invited to this one, because they reached out for Wonka, and then I was like, oh, like, are you guys not doing anything for Aquaman? It's coming out next week. And they're like, oh, we're already full. And then I was like, oh, I would love to come. And then I just left it, and they invited me on Monday. So it was a last minute invite for me. So, but you have to bring it up, right? And I'm like, I'm a huge DC. You can watch on mine. I have every single DC premiere is on my thing, because like I want to show that's something I love. That's something I want them to continue, right?
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see the superhero universe expand. It does suck.
It does. It is hard to be biased though towards one company. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I'm more of a DC fan. But what we do is like I kind of have to showcase everyone, right? Like I kind of lean more to DC. It's just like a natural instinct of me to like cheer a DC cosplayer, right? But yeah.
But I love Marvel too. Like I went to the Marvel's premiere. It was like the movie it was okay. Like I watch it, gave me what happened.
I don't even think it was okay. A movie. I don't think like we did a review on that as well. Like the big baddie, I don't remember her name.
No, like that should have been a guy. That should have been a man. I'm sorry, but that couldn't. It was that my biggest thing with that was just it was too much. I want to say it, female energy. That there was no real villain. It didn't feel like there was a real villain in that whole movie. It felt just like it was very just like let's make this a really great movie and everyone's okay and don't kill anyone and like whatever. It was, but I still like there was humorous parts to it. They brought in like no joke. I kind of like the musical part. Like I'm like, oh, this is weird but funny and like interesting that they just randomly threw this into a movie. But they seriously tried like 5 different dynamic ways in that movie to see what would work and who would write articles about each different thing that they did.
Yeah. And
they succeeded on that. But I guess it didn't succeed in the box office as we expected, right? Because the first thing that everyone posted on the Monday after the long weekend, everyone was like, this was the worst movie ever. And it only hit $50 million when it usually hits. Any movie like this, what was the last one? They said the last one was 100 million, and we thought that was the worst. And now this is 50. So anyways, but yeah, long story short, I think you have to still be open. Like I still have conversations with people, like, but it's hard, right? Because you can't like if you've seen the movie Podcast Guys, right? There's 3 guys there, right? Yeah. They're able to be like, one guy's like, oh, this movie's good. Oh, this movie's mid. And the other one's like, this is shit. So they have a good dynamic. So it's not the whole company's fault. Everyone will have a different opinion, different days.
But that's kind of why I do it. I do it this way. At the theater, it's different than we do the podcast here, and then we can be more honest and open and after the fact, right?
He in the chat.
Yeah, we get Zach in here to voice his true opinion on the movie. I still have your raw footage. I'll send it to you.
Mid.
All right, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for coming. Sorry for keeping you late, DJ.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was doing some work but I needed to jump on 2 calls. So.
All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for coming. Kareem has been quiet over there.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Guys. Take care. Have a good night. Have a good. If I don't talk to you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. All the best to you and your families.
Same to you.
Great meeting you all. Let's connect. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Sure. All right. Take care.
Rent out a theater for the Snyder Cut. I'm there.
Alrighty. We'll talk. All right.
Peace out.